Hi there everyone, Mark from Retribution Gaming here, and I'm welcoming you back to Let's Play Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars. In the last episode, well, we kind of spent most of it collecting information. We found out that our would-be assassin has a scar on his cheek in the shape of a crescent moon and has a penchant for loud clothing. And we got some background on Nicole Collard, who's a journalist that's helping us in our investigation. She has a lot of information and some interesting opinions about this case, so hopefully with her help we'll be able to shed some light on what's going on. So let's see if we can do just that. If you like this type of content, please do consider leaving the video a like, and if you're not already, please do think about subscribing to the channel. But now all that's out of the way, let's get to it. Okay, yeah, as I said, in the last episode we didn't get an awful lot done. We found out a fair bit of information, but yeah, didn't get an awful lot done. So let's see if we can't do something to progress the plot. Now, either I've got to go to the police station or the costume shop. And which one's closest? The police station. Although I think I'm going to go to the costume shop first, because I don't think there's as much to do there as the police station. So let's visit the costumier. And what a dapper gentleman he is as well. I mean, look at these outfits and accessories, and be hard pressed to fit yourself into one of these, I think. But yeah, what's that?
As my fingers closed on the plastic novelty, I realized my mistake. It was a novelty, all right, but it wasn't plastic.
I guess this just goes to show that we still find poo funny. Okay, let's talk to this dapper gentleman, shall we?
Excuse me?
Bonjour, monsieur. Please, come in. Welcome. Leave the mundane world behind, for in these four walls, fantasy is king.
I don't want a costume.
Didn't you ever dress up when you were a child?
Not that I remember.
Incredible! You'll be telling me next that you never shared your elder sister's lingerie.
I don't have a sister, and I think I'd look pretty silly in a brassiere. I just need some information.
Of course. How can I help you?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that I think having this on the floor around here is a bit of a hazard, so you should probably get around to cleaning that up, especially if it looks like you have a poo on the floor. Very, very, very unhygienic, sir. Anyway, we're not going to talk about any of that. What we are going to talk about is, let's mention this nose first.
Do you want this red nose back?
Not after it's been worn, thank you.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you recognize this man?
Oui, monsieur. I sold him some grease paint.
Aha. Is it this one?
Does this dirty tissue mean anything to you?
Let me smell that. Bestheimer's number 7 white pancake.
Theatrical grease paint, right?
Oui, monsieur. La crème de la crème of Thespian accoutrement.
Have you sold any of it recently?
Yes, 2 cans.
Aha. And was it to this gentleman?
Are you sure this is the man who bought grease paint?
Oui, monsieur. He chose 2 costumes. Bozo the clown and Seamus the pixie.
A pixie?
Very smart. Green silk with a taffeta lining. He gave me his name as Monsieur Khan.
Ah, so obviously there's no regulations against giving out customers' identities in France. So we know his name is Khan. Interesting.
Have you heard of a man named Quantile?
I do not recall anyone of that name.
Okay.
Are you sure this is the same man who hired the clown suit?
Certainement, Monsieur Khan.
Okay. Well, that was very helpful.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
My pleasure, monsieur. Allow me to shake you by the hand.
Huh? Well, okay. What are you trying to do, kill me?
You did not find it amusing?
I never saw the funny side of electroshock therapy.
Eh bien, it is yours to keep. A gift?
Do I need a license?
No, but I give you a word of warning, monsieur.
What?
Remember to switch it off before you visit the toilet.
Yeah, not funny, buddy. But anyway, so we've got ourselves an electric hand buzzer as well, which I'm sure will prove very useful. Okay. That's all we can do in there. In fact, it's greyed out now, so we can't go back there now even if we wanted to. Okay, let's go to the police station then. Is that Sergeant Moo? Oh, Rosso is at his desk. So they're not at the cafe anymore then. Let's talk to Moo.
Excuse me?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure.
Okie dokie then. Well, let's share information, shall we?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Non, monsieur?
It's the guy who bombed the cafe. The clown.
This man looks nothing like a clown?
He's taken off his grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing? Look at those murderous eyes.
Hardly likely to get him convicted.
He's got a point. Let's mention the particulars to him.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
Non, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume.
Okay, well, I don't think we're going to get any more information out of Sergeant Moo, so let's talk to Rosso.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yeah, I wouldn't have mentioned him otherwise.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. Stobart is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
Non, monsieur.
Very well.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobart. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
I've been taken off the case.
what about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
Okay. Maybe some of the things that Nico was saying are correct then. She's not just a conspiracy nut. Because that was quick.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No. You must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobard.
I don't think I could do that even if I wanted to, seeing as how he kind of nearly killed me. Okay.
Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
So who was he then?
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantar.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
How did we know he was in the Treasury? Did Nico tell us that? I don't remember now. Okay.
What was that psycho-detective business you did in the cafe?
It is my theory that the passions evoked in violent crimes create ripples in the ether, invisible to all but the possessor of a highly developed and receptive mind.
I'm impressed. Can you bend spoons, too?
I didn't think a man of your obvious intelligence would stoop to mockery.
I'm not mocking. I've had personal experience of the power of the mind. I used to get ignored at parties until I read a book that changed my life.
Really? What was it called?
Hypnotism for Fun and Profit. He looked at me as if I'd farted at a funeral.
The power of mesmerism is a rare gift, not a party trick.
You're not going to try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Let's just say I'd rather you didn't. I've got more doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an interesting subject under controlled regression.
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet.
Huh. Well, I think that's all we can get out of these two then. Rosso's been taken off the case. Moo doesn't want to talk to us. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else more that we can do here then.
So long, Inspector.
Okay, well, can I use that as a public phone? Before we head back and share our findings with Nico, let's give Todrick a call.
Hello? Who is this?
It's George Stobart again.
What now?
I found out the name of the guy I'm looking for.
Is that so?
Yeah, it's Khan. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, I delivered the suit to his hotel. The Hotel Ubu. I don't remember the room number. It was upstairs. The second room on the right-hand side of the corridor.
Thanks, Todrick. That's all I wanted to know. Now I've got you, Mr. Clown.
Okie dokie. Now, I think I'm going to call Nico. Unless she wants me to go over there to talk to her, I don't think I need to.
Bonjour, Collard.
Hi, it's George. I have the address of the killer's hotel.
If you're going to pay him a visit, take care. Remember, that guy's a professional.
Thanks. I'll be fine.
Okay, fair enough. Haven't got a lot of info to share with her then. So, I guess we're heading to this Hotel Ubu. Which is over the other side of town. Which of course it is. Now that's a shifty bunch if I ever saw it. Hang on, were those were the two guys who were that icon when I spoke to the concierge? Why would I need to know about these guys when I hadn't even met them yet? Who knows? Let's check out this alleyway before we decide that we're going to have a conflab with these two gangsters, who are obviously gangsters. Okay, we're in another dead end. Literally can't interact with anything. Okay. Now, okay, we could go this way. What's over here? Oh, it just takes us back to the map. Okay, well, we didn't want to do that. Let's have a word with these two shifty fellas.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I don't know if I want to actually mention anything about any of this to them, because they're looking shifty. In fact, actually, I don't think I want to talk to them at all.
Forget it.
Okay, well, let's head into this fine looking hotel. There's somebody playing the piano. Got a guy sitting reading the newspaper. Another telephone, always handy. What's going on over here?
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
Possibly.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
Do you know a man named Plantow?
No, monsieur.
The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his left cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I'd noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar. I'm looking for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
If you say so. Can you tell me which room the man in the photograph has taken?
Oh no, monsieur. That information is confidential.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
Okay, so that's all the info we're going to get out of him just then. Apologies for being suspiciously silent throughout that exchange. There was some noise going on in the background, which I didn't want to pick up on the recording, so I just thought I'd get that conversation over and done with. Thankfully, the noise has subsided now that this conversation is over. Now, we have a key up on the wall here. Let's have a look.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
You are trying to steal that key, no?
No way.
Okay. Let's have a chat with this fella.
Excuse me, didn't I see your picture in the news? You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes, that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines cut from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah, so this ties into the newspaper we found at the beginning of the game. So this is the guy that was in the headline. Okay.
Do you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective. This is a photo of Khan, right?
That is just one of the names by which he is known.
Okay. Want to see a red nose?
What does this clown's nose suggest to you?
In my country, we have no use for clowns.
I'm glad to hear it.
They were dealt with most severely in the last cultural cleansing.
What about the mimes? Did you get them too?
All gone. Our streets are mime-free.
Sounds like heaven.
So I'm guessing George doesn't like circus performers, but then again, given what's happened to him recently, it's not surprising, is it? Okay, let's talk to him about... I'm not going to try and electrocute a high-profile ambassador. Let's talk to him about Plantard.
Do you know a guy called Plantow?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have.
Right, okay.
Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from England. Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure and a comfort to wear, with much support.
I'm real glad to hear that. You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, we haven't got anything else to talk to him about, so let's
Thanks
leave
for
him
your
alone
help.
for the moment.
Goodbye.
Can we talk to this person playing the piano?
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought... But never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George. George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
Right, okay. Lady Piermont. Great accent. She's also, to be fair, she's a great character. I love this woman. She's fantastic. Right.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him! That's Merlin!
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged. Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest.
He's a guest, eh?
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling.
Okay. So that's another one of his names then is Merlin.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobart. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman, a man of honour. Do you know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and bulges in their pockets. That doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
Fair point. You and me both, lady. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, Moving on.
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
I guess I am.
Good heavens, I must be dreaming.
I don't think so, ma'am.
Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
I'm hoping it's the key to Merlin's room.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
Excellent stuff. We have an ally.
I say! You there? Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewellery for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Over to you, my dear.
Right. We can now nab this key. Head on upstairs. Right, so there was a second door on the right, which is this one. So let's see. Nice hotel though.
It wasn't the right key for the door.
Okay.
It was a key ring bearing one large brass key and a tag which read Hotel Ubu.
Okay, it doesn't say the number on it either. Let's try this one then.
Maybe it wasn't the right room, but this was the right key.
Aha. Oh, these are some nice rooms.
There was nothing in the wardrobe apart from a vague, lingering smell of camphor.
Huh. There's nothing really to do in this room. But there is one thing that we do need to do.
The cabinet was empty, but it smelt of onions. No kidding, it really did.
Huh. We need to open the window. And yes, we are going to do exactly what you think we're going to do. We are going to lose our senses and become a madman. And so here we are on the what would you call it? Window ledge? That's it. That's what I was thinking of. Above this alleyway that we looked at earlier.
If I wanted my shins sticking out of my shoulders, I could have jumped. Mama Stobart didn't raise no suicidal fools, though.
No. Well, good for you, George. I wouldn't want to jump down there either. Right, but Merlin Khan has left his window open. I'm just going to call him Khan. I don't like the name Merlin. Khan is a lot more slimy and sinister for a man of his profession. Has he got anything in his nightstand? Bedside table?
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
Ah. What do we have here?
There was nothing in the pockets of the pants.
Nothing, evidently. Nothing else really in the room either. So, okay, I guess we can leave then. Or not.
I had the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the bathroom.
Yeah, hide, George. Wow, just in time. Okay then. Well, that was a close shave. How he didn't notice us in that wardrobe, I don't know. But anyway, let's see what he's left behind for us.
I couldn't believe my luck when I found 2 items in the pockets of the pants. The first was an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. The second was a pass card which read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
I don't know how smart it is to go stealing the property of a professional assassin, but anyway.
The matchbook bore a pattern of swirling color and the words, Club Alamut.
Okay, that means nothing to me right now.
It was the card I'd found in the hotel bedroom. It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Okay, well, fair enough then. I think we're pushing our luck if we hang around any longer, so I think we should leave. Now, there is something I want to show you first before we continue with this. Do you know what, actually? I'm going to make a quick save of this first. But yeah, yes, it is one of those. But we'll come out here.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Okay, so yes, these guys will search you when you come out of the hotel, which, when you see what we're about to do, is kind of quite bad. So, let's go back over to the clerk.
What now, monsieur?
Gonna kind of tipping off as to what we're going to be doing, but
I've just been manhandled by a gorilla.
Yes? I do not see any signs of a gorilla.
No, not a real gorilla. It was a guy who looked like a gorilla. It happened right out front of this building.
Let me get this quite clear. Are you complaining or bragging?
I want to know what you're going to do about it. The scrawny one has a gun.
I suggest you contact the police.
Can't you do anything about them?
What goes on in the streets of Paris is hardly my responsibility.
might have a point, but
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer.
A murderer? Are you sure?
Positive.
right. So he knows we've got
Thanks for
Merlin's
your help,
card.
buddy.
And the reason I saved it is because I didn't know whether or not Flap and Guido might have been able to find it. However, oh, hang on a minute. Just before. Actually, no. I was going to go back up to the room because there was something else up there that I needed to look at, but there wasn't anything we could do with it. It was a briefcase by the bed, but it's locked, so we can't look in it anyway.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Right. We need to...
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that Clark chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantar's briefcase.
Is it just me, or does this guy look like he's listening to us every time we start talking?
I got the key. Thanks for your help, ma'am. Are you here in Paris
Or is
on
it just
vacation?
a coincidence?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not, he was my husband.
See what I mean? I love this woman, she's brilliant.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You wouldn't be if you knew him, my dear. It gave me the opportunity to take a well-deserved holiday. Daphne suggested a change of scenery. Paris, she said. A wild romance is just what you need to take your mind off the inquest. Well, the closest I came to romance was being wooed by a drunken Breton chef. I must say I was disappointed with his coq au vin. Not at all what I was expecting. I was thinking of cutting my holiday short, packing my bags and heading back to Hempstead. That was until last night.
What happened to you last night?
I was stricken, Mr. Stobart. Cupid's arrow has cleft my bosom.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined it should be. The intimacy of candlelight, romantic music tinkling across the room, and then a stranger's glance. Those brooding eyes, that suave manner, those tight trousers. He was the man I'd been waiting for all my life.
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
Ah, but it wasn't to be. He was merely toying with my affections. And if I ever catch up with him, he's dead.
Well, we know who that is now. It was Merlin. But so we kind of did that out of order. But anyway, yeah.
That gangster I told you about? He went through my pockets just now.
Good heavens! One never knows what to expect in foreign parts. Thank you for the warning, young man. I shall hide my credit cards in my underwear.
Okay, so we need to...
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling. He's the man I've been telling you about. That's the man who spurned me.
Would you like to keep Merlin's pass as a memento?
No, darling. My broken heart is reminder enough.
We need to
Do you want
talk
this key?
to her
No,
about
thank
something.
you, darling.
I have to go, ma'am.
Well, we need her to do something for us. Once again involving the clerk.
What now, monsieur?
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry, I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats.
Right, so let's show him the card.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin, I want to see.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that.
Okay, right, now we've got
Thanks for
that
your
conversation
help,
out of the way, I think we can go back to talk to Lady Piermont, and I think she's going to help us out. No, don't go outside, George.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
No?
Would you like to keep Merlin's pass as a memento?
No, darling.
I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of. Follow me, George.
Here we go. This is what I was trying to do.
Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
Excellent. You imagine Lady Piermont in a Judge Dredd uniform?
No, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
That is also a bit of a hint as to say, yeah, don't look at it just yet. Now, it's now that I'm going to save, because I'm going to show you what happens if you're not careful. Remember Flap and Guido searching us? Well, it's in fact actually this parchment they're looking for. This is what happens if you just leave.
Hold it right there. Search him again, Flap.
Is this what you're after, Guido?
See, that's it.
I can explain everything. Well, almost everything.
Too late. You're on your way to feed the fishes.
I'm allergic to fish. I break out in blotches when I eat tuna.
Let's go.
And there we go. Yep. Game over, because the gangsters caught you and you are now sleeping with the fishes. So, yeah. Let's be a little bit more careful. So, what we have to do, we've already stumbled across a solution on what we need to do. Come back up into this room.
The door was locked.
How did that door lock behind us? Or did we lock it when we entered the room? Either way. Back out onto the windowsill. And what we need to do now is take the manuscript
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
I will go back in here though, because I will look at that briefcase. Just to show you. I mean, this is probably Plantard's briefcase, but I don't think we can look at it.
I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty.
Ah, okay. I thought it was locked for some reason, but it's empty. Okay, if that was Plantard's briefcase, then that could potentially be what was in it then, was the manuscript. But anyways, now that we've dealt with that, we can now head on downstairs. Leave safely.
Hold it right there. Search him again, Black.
Nothing, Guido.
Okay, let him go.
And now we're free to pick up the parchment manuscript.
If the manuscript was what Plapp and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed. I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out. You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-Boo.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantard?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh yeah, maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the end of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive. But the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found.
Jeez, so the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping. Think about it, George. One guy's already died for it, as you said yourself. Besides, that parchment is fragile.
Okay, I'm convinced. You keep hold of it.
Okay, after that rather interesting history lesson, I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave the episode there. We've got a few things that we can talk to Nico about, which we'll do next episode, and then we'll see if we can continue our investigation. So, yeah, I think we got a fair bit done this time. So, thank you for watching. I hope you join me for the next one. So until then, take care. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. If you like that video, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It would help me out a hell of a lot. And click the notifications bell to find out when I post new content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.